Kavashkacha Pratis and Kol HaLoshen. I want to thank the Yevish Tata and Shemayim for all the schusim that he gives me, gives all of us. Whoever comes to listen is Mekayim Mavakish Emuna. Mavakish Emuna is a big schus. In Shemayim Ein L'Shaya. Mavakish Emuna. You have to look for the Rabbeinu Shalom. That's the biggest schus in the universe. Every time a person opens his mouth and says, the matzav is good, it gets better as he talks. Say it again. It's chala bracha. Every time I have a younger man here, I didn't realize he had one of the biggest moifsim I've got, balim moifs here. This is the first time in my history that I'm afraid to tell over the moifsim that are happening. Nobody's going to believe them. I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't seen it. Oh, the first time I had such a maisa was somebody called me up. Mandel, I have to come over. They live in the other part of Lakewood. I must come over with my wife. I must come over. You've heard the story. I must come over. Okay, come over. He comes over with his wife. And he tells his wife, no, tell the story. Erev Shabbos are going to the mountains and it's late and the bumper to bumper. She is a basket case. He's a Bטחון weekly, he's one of my chevra. And she's like, not so much into it. And what happens? So he tells his wife, you're all stressed out. It's bumper to bumper traffic and it's Erev Shabbos Kodesh. We're going to the mountains. We're not going to get there. We're going to be stuck. Hashem, So he tells his wife, I have an idea. Take the Bטחון weekly and see what happens. She takes the Bטחון weekly in her hands and immediately the traffic disappears. So then she puts down the Bטחון weekly, traffic comes right back. So then she takes it in her hand again. He says, try again. She tries again on the spot 2-3 times. Back and forth, back and forth. And finally, a total of 15 minutes. She read it. They get there way before Shabbos. Now, I remember the nusach that she said, Rabbi Mendel, if it would not have happened to me, I would not have believed. I can't believe it. It's crazy. Take it. But the ikavot is, now you know what Bטחון weekly is. So that's the ikka. It's a true story. Bטחון weekly, Rabbi Sai. God, I hold a shear. Go take a shears if you want. Take a rosh. These are all good people. I'm not the only one in the world. They're all holy people. All in Bטחון. All good. But by me, I got a case history right here. I go use it and enjoy. Take my Bטחון weekly. And if you give out my Bטחון weekly, I have stories. Stories of Yeshuas, of terrible matzav in people's lives with health and with mental health. All turnaround. Families, people took my Bטחון weekly. I'll tell you one myself. Younger man. Sometimes Stam, the Abish descends. This young man, I'll tell you where it was in Forest Park Shul. He never davens there. And he had a family issue. He still never told me what it was. He has a family issue. And he said his family issue was serious like crazy. So he said, Gans tell him, nothing happened. He sat and learned 3 hours, nothing happened. He's ready to go home and accept the matzav. So suddenly he sees a Bטחון weekly. He opens up a Bטחon weekly. He says exactly that piece that he saw was saying, never give up. When things go all terrible, dafka, then the Yeshua could come. He was mischazik. He came home and he had a total turnaround in his matzah. He told this young man, told it to me. I have a lot of such ma'asim of people. People have now the words that a person says, bris crucilis vasayim, say it's good and watch it become good. As you say, everything's good. Have a mind. that your words are doing things. Words are not pute dvarim bialma. You know, I want to tell you a story. I heard this from Matr Schwab, Zeichet Tzadik B'Kodesh Bracha. He was known as the Tzadik of Muncie. Matr Schwab at Tzadik Day. After Rabbi Yaakov was nifta, the whole Muncie was after him. He was the man. Matr Schwab told this to me. He was such a warm, lovable person. He once came to Lakewood. His shine, his face, he used to have an hour a day. He used to thank Hashem. That's, if I'm not mistaken, his Adam once told me that. An hour a day he used to thank the Rabbeinu Shalom for everything that went on in his life. He had a lot of peklach. He had to push. This I did here, Clark. His smile when he walked into Lakewood, the whole base medrash, his smile lit up the whole base medrash. He had a shmeichel. He learned in the mirror. Reb Schwab. Rabban Kreiser knew him. He was Gavaldi. He was from the Grace of Yidden. He was known more. When he went to Kamenetz, the Shmua he says, whoever came to Kamenetz came for the Lumdis. Rabban Bashir. He says, I did not come for that. Sure, he came for Lumdis too. I came for the Yerushalayim and the Amuna B'Tachon. You know what he once told me, Matr Schwab? It was once in a Vad, they got together and they decided we're going to work in B'Tachon. That we're going to get 10 rubles, I don't know, 25 rubles, something like that, whatever. And he said they all had B'Tachon and he was the only one that actually got it. He told me this himself. We were standing here in Lakewood on 9th and Madison when he told me the story, if I remember correctly. Whatever. Now, I was in his house once. He had trouble with his heart. And his family, it's not supposed to talk, doctor's orders, this I remember distinctly, where he was talking to me after 5 minutes, I was petrified because that's what they were saying. This man has to watch himself. He was already a zokin and he had to watch himself. And I said, I think they shepherded him, the family also. He says, leave me alone, let's go, let's talk. That part I remember. He laughed. Rabbi said, you have to take care of your health. Chas v'chalila. Don't do that. But it's good to hear the story. Maybe someday you should know of any peklach, but not. To be relaxed about a situation brings a bracha. Somebody who used to come to this vad, a tidying gaman, had terrible. He has a lot of, physical problems with, and he calls me up a lot. This problem, that problem. I already gave him brachas. Nisim guluyim I have with him. Now he told me himself years ago he had terrible trouble with his stomach. Couldn't eat this, couldn't eat that, and this sugar he was going. Finally, his mother said, eat an ice cream sandwich. He ate 2 or 3 ice cream sandwiches, and the whole issue of his stomach disappeared. How did that happen? You're not supposed to eat that. You're supposed to eat bananas with white rice until you're going out of your mind. Until you might get healed, but get ready. The insane asylum has a couple of extra beds, and you could go there. But how do you do such a thing? I had this once. I went out of my mind. This is a Rebbeinu Shalom. This cannot be the Mahalach. I can't deal with it. I go with the system. Listen, I started off normal. I started off like everyone else. Go with the rules. The rules almost killed me. So I decided, listen, Nashkacha is, the rules are not made for you, or else you're going to go cuckoo. So I learned how to defy the rules. The only way I could really do it is if I learned Shar B'Tachon. So you get a Hechra Madrege, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu treats you differently, and you can get away. Anyway, people have Yeshuas because they calm down. Their mind is at ease. Be relaxed. It's more important. Norman Cousins, a Yid, not a from Yid. He was a world-famous name. In this area, he was diagnosed with 2 serious issues, one with the heart and one a debilitating disease. I don't believe he was worth more than 2 months. He was heading for, it's over. So he was a smart man. He's a yiddle. He says, wait a minute. Every time he spoke to a doctor, his situation got worse. He noticed every time he walked away from a doctor, he felt 10 times worse than before. The doctor didn't do anything. Just talking to him does the job. When he explains to you, well, we have to be open. We have to let you know the reality. You're mechuyev to know that, in 2 months you'll be, where did you pick your grave? Oh, you're planning to die. Oh, how many people are expected at the funeral? The doctor's very encouraging. You have a doctor like that. Now, not every doctor is like that, but there's too many, unfortunately. They can make or break a person the way a doctor talks. Now, in everything like that, that's why, Rabbi Isaac, I will tell you, when people call me up, someone just called me up with a serious, they told me, it's already spread, it's already all over. I say, you're not scaring me. I say, Refuah Shalema. They looked at me like I'm funny. Are you sure? Yes. Refuah Shalema. Do you know how many times I said that and it worked? There are people sitting here who testify. It's the power of words. Bris Kruselis Vasayim. I always say it. First of all, I have a mitzvah of having bטחון. I don't care what happens. Of course I can. I want to make it better. But either way, you got a mitzvah of being Isaac and mitzvah bטחון, the greatest mitzvah in the world. You're already on the, and you're not making it worse by telling the guy, well, you have to face reality, and you have to face reality. Reality, there's no hope, and shame. So you be one of those guys who shame. You get schar for every inch of bטחון that you work on. By the way, there are different shittas of how to accept things. I'm not getting involved right now. I'm not involved. There are other shittas. I just want to be made of something over here. But anyway, so I go and I say good to Zach, and I always say good and good and good. And how often now, let me tell you this. Reb Schwab told me this story. It's in print. It's famous. I think there's a sefer Lev Eliyahu, Rebel Yalapyan, the sefer his Sichas Musa. In the Akdama to Lev Eliyahu, there's a story over there. I think it's there. Either way, it's in print. The whole world reads it. And I heard it, aid me P-aid. Reb Schwab was in Eretz Yisrael. He had just come back. He had met the youngest daughter of Reb Itzel Pettenberger, who had been married at least 2 or 3 times. It was from the youngest daughter from the last shidduch, and she was Alta Baba, and he met her, and he heard the story firsthand. This is what I remember from the story. Here it goes. 2 people. The Vilna Gaon, who was this? Who was it? This is not the Vilna Gaon. This is Reb Chaim Berlin, Reb Itzel Pettenberger. Chaim Berlin, Reb Itzel Pettenberger, they were best friends. In the later years, they moved to Yerushalayim together. They decided whoever's nifta first is going to tell the other one what's going on up there. And the one who was nifta first was Reb Itzel Pettenberger. And he came in a dream to Reb Chaim Berlin a week or 2 later. The details that I remember was that he told him, it wasn't easy for me to come to you in a dream. You don't play games up there. You don't just come down in a dream. We'll tell you everything. You're not coming down so fast, and you're not getting it. I remember that I can't tell you all the things I would want to tell you. I am not allowed to tell you what's going on in the next world. But 2 things I have permission to tell you. 1, a Ben Torah in the next world, a yeshiva man, has a total different situation. They treat him like a king up there. Exactly what, I don't know, but it's a big, big schooler to be a Ben Torah. To be a, not, what should I say for us? Are we all such big B'nai Torah? Anybody who's machshir a Ben Torah, anybody who tries to be part of B'nai Torah tries his best. And by him, Torah is I'm sure that's worth a lot in Shemayim. Sometimes it's worth more than anything. Anyway, so here goes Rabbi Say. That's one. The second thing, he told me, the power of speech is so great in the next world. Every move you make, every word you ever said is recorded as if you did something. It's an olam ha'maiseli. To us, I said this, I said that. You know, you played it a hin and played it. Calls him a garav. Calls him a rebbe. Tells off his chassidim about this to plod it in. You know, plod it. Pitute dvarim. You know, he was very, very funny. The heilige. Alta calls him a rebbe. Chussi Yergan Aleinu, who's a malach Hashem tzvakis. He gets shafa mosaho. And he speaks about how people plod it away. Hey, plod it. It's been plod it. You know, you pitute dvarim. People say, you know, they talk. Okay, now our door, I'm always, you know, I'll say to my closest rabbeim, I always have a PS. Now our door, watch out. I wonder how much they're going to chepper us the way they did the door before us. Easy. Some people need to blow there. They're depressed. I believe the Chavetz Chaim says it. Some people need to talk. They're depressed. Talk. They need it. Talk. Check it out with your rabbeim before you. But there is for sure emotion in that direction. When and how to use it, I don't know. But so talk. It calms you down, makes you happy. You're going to start thinking, every word you say on this world, you better watch every move because you created a malach. And chas v'chalila, what do you want from me? I'm a Harry. Ach bin a Melkana Boychik. You're going to start with that? Soon there'll be room in the mental hospitals because watch every word you said. The Rebbeinu Shalom understands us. He understands us. He's not going to mun people like us for these things. He will. He won't. I'm not saying anything. I don't have the big enough achrayus. I want to say this to Mashkiach Zatzal. Who's bigger, us or them? Who's bigger? He says, nobody knows. But it is brought down by the Arizal that we're bigger. So I'm going to go like the Arizal. I need it. I need it to move, to get up in the morning. You know, sometimes you know the answer. You're worried about gaiva. Okay, don't be about gaivanik. But tomorrow morning, you're going to be sleeping till 11:30. Is when you're getting up, and you missed Krishma. Oh. How come? Well, you want to know the real reason? Who wants to get up? If I'm a zero minus. If I'm going to go with the old Mrs. Farim, who wants to get up? You're nobody, you're a zero, you know what you're over. You know what that means? If you stop learning for 1 second, you're making a hefsek. They're going to feed you hot coals of the rice and bush, whatever that is. All right? It sounds great. It's very tasty. I mean, it's not hot coals for stopping to learn. So let's hang that out, all the yeshivas, and watch either one or two things. Either all the Gilite are going to turn into, problematics, robots. Well, excuse me. You're not allowed to make fun of Chazal. Hashem Yirachem, Rabbi Yisai. Hashem Yirachem. I'm saying this only. Heilige Chazal is Kodesh Kodashim. And who knows how many people, and even in this door, can use it, and will know how to use it correctly, and steiger learning more because they're not mafsik in the middle of learning. Not so fast. You can't play games with Chazal, but for some of us, they need to hear a certain, you want to be a nutcase? You don't want to go with literal. There are a lot of other Chazals. I asked Reb Chatzkel Levenstein. I myself asked him, if I'm in the middle of learning and someone comes over to speak to me, what should I do? He turned around. Reb Chatzkel, he was din. Someone's speaking to you, Dosach HaChesed. You have to be mafsik. Reb Chatzkel told this to me. I was looking at him. Is this Taka Reb Chatzkel? You allowed to do that? I was getting all losing my... Well, you need a Rebbe for whatever you do. What I say now, for one person be Kodesh Kodesh and the other person it's not. You got to know you need a Rebbe. But I just want to introduce the Elam to, like, don't be so literal. Watch out. Either be like this or chas v'sholom, you throw your whole business. I can't deal with this. Talmud Torah is, you can't move. I think I'm not cut out. Now, something tells me it's not for me. Yeah, I'm not from the learners. Now, the guy would have been a learner if they wouldn't have told him that Chazal. If they would have told him, I learned in the yeshiva. That was Baruch Hashem, very understanding. The Rosh Yeshiva was a big mechanech. They dafka encouraged to be relaxed and schmooze around a little. Miyat sicha. One memchas dvarim shatar niknas. Miyat sicha. You got to schmooze around. So some people are mahader in the miyat sicha. I spoke to a big Adam Gadol. Miyat sicha means 10 minutes, he told me. Now, for him, maybe, I don't know, you got to tell that to every young man? Or it's 10 minutes, or stopwatch. Miyat sicha, now get back to learning. You had that 10 minutes. Some people, you're killing them when you're telling that. You have to know, everybody's different. You can't be mafkir a whole Torah either, Shem Yerachem. But you have to have seichel. There are people out there, a lot of them, that need to hear a different agenda. You have to watch out with yourself. Sometimes you got to go extreme. Rav Scheinberg, learning. He was shidduchim, learning. Get a ben Torah, only ben Torah. That's what I heard anyway. Ben Torah. Rav Nosson. There were different nischayis and al chayid, you know. All right, everybody has their own. But I'll tell you something. Rav Scheinberg, with a Torah, he says, sit and learn. Remember once on Shavuos, he said how important it is to sit and learn. And it's a sweet, delicious shmooze that many bachrim should hear it. Basically, they should all hear it. There's a big schos there. Baruch Bass speaks about it. I think in Kedushin he says, you start off wanting to be a ben Torah and a gadol ben Torah. It says, schos gadol ben Torah. That's she'ipa. You want to be, okay, now as you get older, Mendel is not here, dafka, to push that agenda. Because I'm not a Rosh Yeshiva in BMG, or a Mashgiach in BMG, or in any other yeshiva that needs to. You got to steig, Rabbi Yisai. I'm not lav dafka dealing with that oilam. I'm dealing with an oilam that may need dafka a little bit different. So I speak to what they have to hear. But I wouldn't want my son, who's learning in yeshiva, to hear some of my stuff. See, what? Don't listen to Zaidi. Zaidi's an amoritz. The Zaidi's a balabas. Yeah, keep on. You sit and learn. You know what I bought my son for a bar mitzvah present? I didn't get him a chayvus abavis. I got him a grizal Rambam. They learn. Steiger learning. Don't give me to Musa. Okay, Musa. Yeah. Oh, Novhardok. What else is new? Learn. Don't bother me. Certain people should not. It's also to hear what Chaim needs, Getzel doesn't need. You got to know who's who. You need a Rebbe, and you have to need the Eibishter to daven hard. So I'm a little bit to relax a bissel. And even those who do have to hear, I'm only going to learn, and they sometimes very, 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 very often, you also need to hear a bissel Mendel, maybe more than a bissel Mendel. You know how many of those Kailam types come to me? The biggest must be, you know how many phone calls I had today? And people always, the guy from the Mira Tzaddik, a sweetie, is learning Yom Balayla. And he loves learning, no? But I'm not everybody. He needed me. Oh, big time. Whatever. I gave him advice. You got to be more this, more that. Because he needs it. People are different. Grad, I'll tell you what I told this fellow. You need more Zikr Rabin. Give out B'tachon weeklies. No negias. I tell the guys like this. You know, have some people give out B'tachon weeklies. I got to tell you something. And he's happy to do it. You know why? Because I davened. I'm telling you what davening does. What davening does is that Rabbeinu Shalom, I need people to help me. Where did Galambak pop up from? 2 weeks later, I need help. Someone got it. I don't know the cases. 2 weeks later, Galambak made his hotline. It's my hotline. You know why my wife likes my flowers? She hates flowers. Until one day I got sponsored. Avishta, make her like the flowers. For Shabbos, got to give us something. Make her like the flowers. I come home. Ooh, they're nice. And I look at her, what happened to you? Oh, I like flowers. Oh, yeah? In fact, I know why you like flowers. Hakamanashtana, this week you like flowers, because this week Tati finally got some brains. You want flowers. Get some Tati, she'll like flowers. That's something. Go to the boss for everything you need. Go to the Eibishter and ask him for every inch. Some people don't get along with their boss. The Manayal, the Rosh Hashiva, the Rosh Chabura, not my type. He doesn't. What, you know what, having trouble? Learn from Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef HaTzadik, when Potiphar saw him walking into his room, coming to serve him, he saw him whispering. He says, what are you whispering? He says, I'm davening to Rabbeinu Shel Olam, the one who made the whole world, that I should be nice, I should do a good job. And there should be nice in the eyes of Potiphar, that you should like me. Yeah, it's Chazal. Something like that. Remember Chazal? Yeah, Yosef. Why was Yosef Matzliach? Wherever he went. Atzlach. Every move he made. Eibishter here, Eibishter there, Eibishter. You can do the same thing. David Amav. David Matzliach, Hashem Imai. Choldor Maskil, Hashem Imai. Every move he made. Because every move, Eibishter, can you help? I need you for this. Eibishter, I need you for that. Get the Eibishter on board. Eibishter, help me. I shouldn't be afraid of people so much. I used to be petrified before I started speaking. I have to speak? Oh. I'm not such an easygoing guy. I promise you, this is true. I says, Eibishter, make me nervous. They're going to see a nervous guy. It's not going to go. From that day on, I'm not nervous. I promise you. That's all it is. I daven. So they think, oh, Mandel's cool. Mandel's not cool. Mandel knows how to daven. You can also be cool. Daven. Well, you get along with your wife? How do you get along? Before you walk into the house, Eibishter, help me. That my wife should admit that I'm always right. Let's hope your wife is davening. You know, Yitzchak and Rivka are both davening different corners. So, she might be davening the other guy. Please help. My husband should admit that I'm right. Anyway, I'm joking. Chas v'chalila. By the way, you want to win? You want to win an argument? Says Reb Gershon. You ever see a tug of war? Let go. You won. The guy flies. Let go. Disconnect. As soon as you say that, the guy goes flying. You won. The guy that's man enough to say I'm wrong, everyone respects him. The one that says, I am wrong. No, you are right. Yes, I do this. Whenever I say that the other guy's right, I do it with a stolz. I don't just say you're right. I don't do that. You are right. Even I hold like that. I hold, yes, you're saying very good. Ooh. I'll give you 10 riots why I'm wrong and you're right. I'm on your side. So I come out the big shot, even though I lost. You have to lose with grace. You don't just lose. You lose with grace. I want to tell you something, Rabbi Isai. I got a phone call. The person's going around. You should know, boys. Rabbi Isai, boys. Rabbi Isai. Bris crucilis vasayim. Every time you say something positive is chala baracha on your life and the people around you. Every time you say it's good, the Eibishter loves it. The Eibishter likes you. You're his best friend. Don't you want to get on good with the Eibishter? I know how to murder Gemaisa. Somebody had to turn around with one of their kids. And I said, what'd you do? After I gave them all the advice, I forget what I told the guy. And then I asked, what did I say? It worked like such a mipus. How'd you get that one? Well, you told us. Oh, yeah. What did I tell you? So they tell me to say, Eibishter, I love you. Thank Hashem all day. And first say, Eibishter, I love you. How does the Eibishter feel when you say that? He feels good. Do it! Do it every day. Eibishter, I love you to pieces. You're so good. Say it all day and all night. The more you say it, he likes that. How would you feel? Someone, every time you're a Rebbe and you're a Rebbe, you're a Rosh Hashiva, and a Talmud comes over to you every day and says, Rosh Hashiva, I love you. No. Who's gonna get the tip? Who's gonna get the extra Who's going to get Rashiva's daughter? Who's gonna make it in the world? Who's going to get all the bonuses? Who's going to get... He keeps coming to you and telling you, I love you. You're the Manayal or the Rashiva. I love you. So do it to the Eibishter. What? Don't be a batlin. You want to get up in the world? Say, Eibishter, I love you for making me such a goofball. I could have been even worse. But that's why I believe so much in holding from yourself. So much in holding from yourself. You must hold. You know why? Because you're being thankful to Hashem. When you don't hold from yourself, you're fetching, Hashem, you messed me up. You know how many people deep down, they're angry at Hashem. Why did you make me such a yuckle? Why did you... All these guys ought to learn better than me. All these guys are smarter, they're better. He has a better... His mishpacha, blah, 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 and I'm never this. And this guy has friends, and I'm the... So you're going to go around all day fetching to Hashem. Hashem doesn't like that. You know what he likes? When you go around saying, okay, he knows I'll learn better, but I have to work harder. I'm much bigger than him. Thanks, Hashem, for making me the big guy around here. Or whatever it is. I do Averis. Even though I do Averis, I still try to do tshuva. That's the biggest thing. Hashem, thanks for making me the biggest. How does the Eibishter feel? You could, I'm part of the Torah. There's a case for every person. You have to find your case and sit on it. The more you sit on your case, the more you're going to steig. But he's also good. It's up to you who's good. You decide you're the best in the world, you'll become like that. Rabbaran Kotler Mishnas Rabbaran says, the madrigas of a person is kafi, what he holds he is. You know how much power you have by your opinion of the matzah. You're the balabas on your own opinion. You are the author of your condition, the Welt says. You're the author of your condition. Whatever you decide, the Eibishter wants you to be happy. Now, my latest mifus, I'm embarrassed to say it all, because nobody's going to believe this one. This one is beyond. Wait till you hear this one. I'm telling you, I should not say it over. If I had any brains, I would never say it over. It's not for the public. What? What am I saying? Listen, in so many words, a couple married 35 years. I did not want to get involved, even though they asked me. They started shooting at each other and saying, what's wrong? I said, I'm from the positive guys. This is not for me. I just can't deal with it. So just leave me out of this. I give you a bracha. 2 days later, I get a message. There was a turnaround like nobody's business. A total turnaround and extreme opposite on Haga. Overnight, I gave one bracha. I can't believe that it's still holding. It is. You know, if you make yourself a tam, bris crucilis fasayin, you said it. Start believing in the power of words. Believe in it, and it'll work more and more. Make a campaign of positive talking. Talk only good things. It's a lifetime job. Look, Kalev ben Yefuna said, G'dayla ha'aretz, Tov ha'aretz, Kalev and Yeshua said, the land is very good. Ma'id. And the Meraglim said, they all saw the same situation. In the same situation, you can either go this way or that way. And they were zeicher to everything, Kalev and Yeshua. And the Meraglim lost their Olam Haba, Hashem Yirachim. But Gedali Yisrael, these people should lose their Olam Haba. After all that hard work with Shas, with Peiskim, with Gainis, with Titkas, with Kabbalah, with Nigla, and Nista, and they were Bali Chesed, and Siyim. They were leaders. People loved them. They were great. They were charismatic. They were Kanakas. 12 Shvatim, the cream of Klal Yisrael should lose their Olam Haba. For one reason, you're kvetching. You blew it. You don't like the country. Goodbye. You speak negative, oh boy, did you do a churban. It's better to steig and being positive more and more. Just be positive. And the main thing is, I said, now look, I was once my Rebbe Rabbeisa. So I told my Rebbe Rabbeisa that I'm working a lot on building myself up. Now he said, when you build yourself up, that's Yeshal Mi'lismach. Now, I didn't want to explain, but these days, it ain't Al Mi'lismach. A long time ago, people had a certain, they held from themselves. And nowadays, you have to watch. I had this plenty of times where I spoke to a big Novandiga, and he gave me a sharfa, this is the derech. And then I spoke to his son, who was a big Oived Hashem, and he said, easy, not for us. You got to watch out. It's a different door. You're not Chaylik Adas Rabbi Chas v'Chalila. You're a different door. You can't do it. There's a Meister of Shaga Feivel. Chanan wanted to give a Mussar Shmuz. He had a Kabbalah Chavetz Chaim in America. Shaga Feivel told him, don't you do it. And Shaga Feivel knew America better. And if he would have done it, it would have been a Churban Neida. They were Gedolei Yisrael. Of a different generations have different. Every dar has its own. Chanan was Kodesh Kedoshim, but it was a different dar, different anhaga. Anyway, Rabbi Chanan Basima, what he did for us, he was the one that they quote, the Mashkiach. They quote Reb Nosson, that he said there was a dream, something that they were trying to wake up Mashiach, and he's not getting up. Not for the gain, not for the who, no, not for nobody. Just for Americana Yeshiva Bacham. That's for Rabbi Chanan. No, am I right? Who?
The baseball cap.
Baseball cap. There you go. Rabbi Chanan Basima, we owe him that vod. He came and he understood that us Harrys are the future. Americanas, you know what Americana Harry is? That's supposed to be one of us Harrys. Zaina Harry, the Americana Harry, Baruch Hashem. Okay, now, I noticed, the sense of humor business, back to the sense of humor business. Do you know that Hisalalti b'Mitzrayim is a big tumult, what that means? What does Hisalalti mean? Now, Rashi says, I made a joke. And he's not the only one that says that. It's Hisalalti, the Eibishter made jokes. There's a big tumult. What were the jokes? You see a frog has a natural smile. He's laughing in your face. And he's going to go into your dough. You're going to be eating the frog with the soup. And the frog's in the stomach. And he's talking. It was lebedik. They're springing on top of Paro's nose. It was comical. Well, the 10 Malchus was a very comical, very, they got what they deserved. But what's this Indian of being Hisalalti? Now Rashi says, he brings two psukim. He says, by Bilam ben Ba'er, Bilam together, he had a donkey there, and he told, donkey, you misoilal be. Misalalti, the same lotion is used. You're making a joke out of me. You open your mouth. A donkey, V'yiftach Hashem as Pia Asain, and he's making fun. Yemavazami, Misalalti. That's one case. It was very, very comical. You ever learned? You ever learned Parshas Balak? It's not comical. It's unbelievable. It's fat. It's just funny. Hashem made a fool out of Bilam. What is that all about? It's a lot. Made a joke out of Bilam. And then we got another one. Rashi brings down. There's the time of the Aron Kodesh was captured. Yidden went to war against Kim Tarayins and the Platz. Aron Kodesh was captured by the Plishtim. And the Aron Kodesh, they went to a Yidden. As soon as the Plishtim saw Aron Kodesh, we lost. We can't. There was a history. They knew the history, how the Aron Kodesh split open the Yarden River. They just stood there, the Levium was standing by the Yarden River, and it split open because the Aron Kodesh. And then the Levium, they flew over with the Aron Kodesh. So they said, we're not getting there, the Aron Kodesh. So one Plishti tells the other one, let's go, don't be impressed. Plishtim, be tough, let's fight. And they fought and they won, because the Yidden they were Averis over there, Bezayin, Kachim, Chafti, and Pinchas. The sons of Eli Akayim were Nifshal a little bit in Kachim over there, whatever. They were Mavaz Kachim, so Mamela, they lost the war. This is a Nevuah already from Elkanah. It was supposed to come. Shmuel Hanavi had heard this, and Sai, his father, also. They told Eli Akayim he knew it was coming, because they were shine. He didn't give enough mussar to his kids. Whatever happened there, but the kids of the Aron Kodesh was. By the way, that Aron Kodesh used to win wars. You took the Aron Kodesh to a battle, you won. How'd you win? What was inside the Aron Kodesh? Shivrei luchos. The whole luchos were back home. Shivrei luchos. You want to win the war? Bring the tzabroch, the luchos with the egel. You know, when Moshe had to smash the luchos, right? Those luchos, a reminder of Moshe Egel. That helped you win the war. Ganze luchos, they finally did it right. It was too much piercing, right? It was so many reasons why it didn't work, and that will win the war. So Yidel Mendel wanted to tell you that's a bracha and a yid. You want to win a war? Leiv nishbar. And then afterwards, I heard the Rav Shach said the same word, mamish. He said, how come Yaakov Avinu sent Bnei HaShfachos first? What do you want them to die first? Because they come from Shfachos? What's going on here? He said, no, because they're broke. And he held from this vod, he repeated, this is the way I heard it. He held the vod as Kodesh Kodashim. It's Emes Lamita Shel Torah. That's a brach, and they come from the Shfachos, Don, Naphtali, God, Asher. Put them in front by Esav. Put them in front. They have more power than the big Choshev Yehuda, with Yisachar, B'nai Leah, with Yosef. No. Rachel, B'nai HaShfachos. You go up front. Then we're going to win. So I was mechavan to Rav Shach with the luchos with this. Rabbi Sai, the day you weren't learning good, the time you felt, oh no, they don't hold for me here. These guys don't look at me. They hold from their big personality. This guy's a big this and I'm a small that. That's going to win. Klal Yisrael's in trouble. Guys like you are going to win. The rainy days when it's not working, that's going to bring the Netzach. But anyway, let's get back.
Kuni says that's why Moshe came from Erva of the Dasa.
Came from what?
An Erva. The Su and Amra married the Dasa. It's an Erva.
Psh, talk about it. Anyway, so now they went to war. And the Plishtim captured the Aron Kodesh. Ha! We got the Aron Kodesh. Boom! The lachtzach up from those Jews, Aron Kodesh. See? We got it. And they immediately brought it into the big church over there, into their Dagon. Dagon was their god. It was a half man, half fish. There's a machlokes what Dagon meant, but that's one of the children. And they bring Dagon's up there, and a statue of Dagon. And Aron Kodesh over here to show, see, Aron Kodesh, Dagon, he's the knacker around here. See, we got the real God. They're playing with fire, Plishtim. Get ready. You're playing with fire, Babalach. Don't you do that. Watch what happens. In the middle of the night, they hear an atomic bomb. Dagon fell on his nose. They ran. What happened there? Did they put that Dagon back? Well, they heard another bomb falling. Dagon fell. This time he's cut up all over the place. They're starting to get the message. Then they went to the bathroom. Oh, they just had fun with them. They went to the bathroom. What happened? The mice decided to have a field day. Field mice, you know. Have a field day. Field mice want to have a field day. They decided to go into, shame. And they ended up into the bowels of the Plishtim. They took a bite. Hey, this guy tastes good. Let's take a chunk out of his intestines and a chunk out of that. Disemboweled them. The Plishtim are going out of their minds. All of them have the same rats jumping inside them and go through the Hidon and the bathroom. And as soon as you go to the bathroom, it's time Freyla. You go to enjoy yourself at the Plishti Beis HaKisei. So you made the Plishtim order, they get the treatment. So they went and there was their chap, it's the Aron Kodesh. So they picked up the Aron Kodesh, put in the next Plishti city. Next Plishti city, As soon as they went to the bathroom, here come the rats. So they went to another place. They said, they got the message. The policemen were going around screaming in agony. The pain is unbelievable. And finally they decided, we got to give this back to the Jews. When they started with giving it back to the Jews, they said, we're going to do it b'chavadik, because we have to be respectful. So they gave golden mice. They made mice out of gold, and they put it on a cart, and they gave it. Shemesh, where they give it to, and they gave it to us. Now, that was it. No mess. The Lashon there, Rashi brings us down in this week's parasha. That they said, we're going to get a Hesalalti like they got in Mitzrayim. David is going to make a joke out of us. Yeah, it's a pretty big joke. When we get some toilet with rats. So Gavain a joke. The Eibishter, why is the Eibishter always making his halalti b'Mitzrayim? Yeshiv Shemayim Yitzchak. Why is the Eibishter always going with humor? I told you about Avraham Avinu that I mentioned last time. You want to know Avraham Avinu's sense of humor? You don't know? Avraham Avinu? Okay, ta. You want me to take care of the getchkes, the idols? Ta, leave it to me. I'll take good care of all of them. Avraham Avinu. This is a medrash. I'm not making up stories. This is Heilige Chazal. Avraham Avinu is going to take care of his father's idols. So his father comes back, and he comes in the whole store, the biggest department store in the country. His father he was Makur L'Malchus. He was Nimrod's right-hand man. No, Terach was a big person. And he finds Alta Terach. Alta Terach finds his idols are all smashed all over the place. And Abraham is sitting there like, hi, Ta. Here, I took good care. Here, come, Tatala. Alta Terach. Come take a look at the idols. Your idol store. Avraham, what did you do? Ta, please. What do you calm down? What are you getting so excited for? Can you understand what happened? Look at the biggest one, the biggest idol with the long nose, with the cheeks, you made a nice idol over there made out of wood. He's Chashav idol. He's the Biavois, Hatoma over there. And there he stands with a big bat, the big one. And he's sitting there with a plate. Whatever, you remember the Chazal? They served the plate. And he says, well, you will have to understand. They were all fighting over the food. And the big guy took the bat and smashed them all up. What's the tata? What do you want from me? What do you want? Avram, you're making fun. This alalti, huh? So he made, and then he schlepped him straight. His father brought him to Nimrod to burn him in the fire. But why Avram made a joke? Notice the joke? Wasn't he good? The Zayd Avram was he good? Tell me, Rabbi Sai. We don't understand anything about Avram. But in our simple language, was he did he know how to live? Avram Avinu always like, you got to be serious, right? Does he know how to live? There was no one like the Heilig who understands Kodesh Kodashim in our small Kepalach. Eliezer Avram, Deila Mashkim Etorah Shel Rabbi, when he was in Sdaim, and Sdaim, he takes a rock and throws it on his head, and he starts bleeding. He says, you come with me, you owe me $100. I owe you $100 because yes, this is Sdaim, you don't know the rules. When somebody smacks another guy and the blood comes out, the guy I made blood come out, now you pay me $100. You serious? Yes, come to court right now, you'll see it. Comes to court, and there's the judge. What happened? This man, I made him bleed. He owes me $100. Judge looks at Eliezer. Yes, he is right. Eliezer, in disbelief. Are you serious? Yes, you don't know? This is Sdaim. These are the rules of Sdaim. You don't know the rules? Yes, I'm sorry. Pay him $100. Eliezer, okay, no problem. No problem. We'll take care of it. No problem. He picks up a rock, throws it on the judge's face, and hits him hand. The blood comes out. The judge says, what'd you do? Now you owe me $100. So go give it to him. He'll keep me out of this. That's one story. Then he went to the parties. They went to a chasana. He ate up the whole chasana suda. He made stick around. Whatever. He had fun. He had a ball. Look at the Chazal. He has a problem. Lebedik. And you want to see the best of them all, Eliyahu Navi, you learn you're supposed to make fun of Avodah Zarah, Eliyahu Navi, Bahar Carmel. So maybe your God is in the bathroom. It's a pasuk. And Chazal learn that from here. That's why Nobhardok that left all day, they left at the Yitzhahara. So I wanted to tie this halalti b'Mitzrayim. You want to destroy something, make fun of it. First thing is the zilzul is a destruction. You know when you get malchus, if somebody's about to get malchus and suddenly gets petrified and he relieves himself, he's patur from malchus because he had the busha, which the malchus caused. Well, he didn't get one patch. Am I right or wrong? He didn't get one smack. But the busha, that such a thing should happen, barab, patur. V'nikla, achicha leinacha. The ikka is the bezayin. You got a bezayin? Patur. And if somebody was, they tied him up, and he's getting all striking, they're going to smack me in a minute, they're going to hit me in malchus. So he ran, that's also bezayin. You ran, you patur from the whole malchus. Because the ik is the bezayin. The ik is making a chayzik of a person you killed him. It's enough. That's why bezaynus is the best way to go. They killed you. You embarrassed the person, you killed him. There's a machlokes rishonim. There's a Tosfos and a Rabbeinu in Shar Tshuva. One of them says that it's 4 things you're supposed to serious nefesh. One of them, the other one is mal b'nei because as if you killed him, right? The other one says that it's a sniff of shvichas dama, whatever it is. The other one, Rabbeinu thinks so, whatever. So you embarrass somebody, you killed him. That's killing him. There you really killed him. The Eibishter killed Pari by making a chayzik. The power of Mitzrayim was bottled when you make a chayzik of them. You make chayzik of people, you're killing them. You make chayzik of yourself, it's the worst thing in the world. Don't you put yourself down. You're killing the person. Amalek's whole kayach is they make chayzik. Amalek makes flotzonis. Mashal Ambacha, you know the Chazal. Amalek makes a chayzik. They are the worst thing. They're not what they killed, what they do, the richest, the chayzik that they make. So you have kavod. It says, Beicholei kula aime kavod. In Gan Eden, it's kavod. You respect. You must respect yourself. First thing is respect yourself. Respect. Don't be mezalzel in yourself. It's a klola. You know, klola and zilzal is the same. You know, it's the same. Rashi says the same idea. Kal. It's nothing. Don't make it wait. You know what Rav Nosson says? If somebody sits and learns Basmada and he's not machshav his learning, he's like, Mayahana le Rabboni. He's an Amoritz. You're making a joke out of your own learning. You sat and learned. You sat and learned. You got to dance till Shemayim. We're having a Vad here. You can make, it's nice. Another Vad. Oh, a Vad, Hashem Yerachem. The Shechina's here. You have to build up. Especially in Tikkun Amidas, you have to go to the extreme opposite of a Yitzhar. The Yitzhar wants to pull you down. And if the people around you, you're respecting too much, and yourself, you're respecting too little, and Hilchos breaking Midas, you go extreme opposite. Don't put down the people around you. Sometimes you may have to. If you're turning the people around you into gods, you gotta watch it. You may have to, in your mind, put easy. They all go to the bathroom. These are Rishonim that say this. Rishonim Yeshaya Navi. People go to the bathroom. What's that all about? A Navi says it. You know that? Because the Navi had to teach people, don't turn people into gods. Don't get carried away. So sometimes you have to play them down. And sometimes you have to play yourself down when you're really about Gaivanik, which you aren't usually. And nowadays, Gaiva is not the problem. The problem is the other way. Too much. So you got to blow yourself up to a jumbo elephant. And the people around my Miller told me, you have to say, I'm Givaldi. You're Givaldi. We're all great. My Shvez joke is the best. My Shvez Yortzeit was yesterday. What was my Shvez Yortzeit? Today's Sunday? Shvez Yortzeit was Friday, I think. Yeah. My Shvez, Chuzi Elena, was a tzaddik. My Shvez told me he was a Munkach. He had a friend, the Belzer. As I told the Belzer once told it, by us and Belzer, I'm nobody, you're nobody. Ich bin Gunish, die bist Gunish. So my Schwester said, aha, I think I'm in the Madrega as die bist Gunish. I think I'm holding Madrega that you're nobody. I think we're getting there. So my Schwester made it. But kids, we have to, you should know you had to see the way Novandigers make fun of themselves. They love doing that. They loved it. I was watching them in action in Monroe. These Novandigers, the way they were talking with each other, from a figure with a gish. But they were making fun of themselves. Ich bin brutal liberal. Wherever I go, I get all in the spoil. No, I also get in the spoil from everybody. And they had a certain drive where they had a thrill in knocking themselves into sun. They know how to do these things. They weren't there. I saw Reb Hilovitkin. That's all. He was a Shaver, father-in-law, or Shimshon Pinker's father-in-law, Raman, Adam Godel, Bnei Brak. And his father was Hilovitkin, an Alta, Talmud of the Alta from the Valley, Adam Choshev, Adam Godel. Hilovitkin came to Lakewood, and he spoke. And when he spoke, he said his face was shining all the time. He was like happy, very jovial, jovial. Typical Novandig is always like, let's laugh, come on, cut it out. That's the Novandig mentality, typical Novandig. Lama Lachmas, he gets up in front of the whole BMG. Those days, BMG was like, and it was the biggest base bench in there. And he comes in there, and him to speak. And he says, whenever I get an aliyah, I say, whenever I get an aliyah, I know it's me. So yesterday I got an aliyah, ish ki yatzorua, oizav, oitamla nefesh. Oh, I know it's ashkacha. It means me. And then he started saying, all my life I knew I was garnished. I know I'm a zero. Lately, I was inspired to me. It's not true. Ich bin garnished. He said it in front of the whole BMG. The guys were sitting there. And the way he said it, he was oozing with simcha. I've been garnished. He was in his, you want me to figure them out? Don't you do that? Maybe you should. I don't know. I want to tell you, recently I spoke to my Rebbe. Do I have the right and audacity to plan on bringing back the Vardig Bechol Toik for Bahadr? And he said, 1,000,000%. He's not the only one told me. Big people told me, go for it. Daven to the Eibishter. We want the Vardig back. Of course, we're not going to start off with them. We got to watch what we're doing. Because we have to do what's good for us. The Vardig, the Shita was to do, the Shita that's good for you. Whatever works for you. Whatever makes you happy. I heard Rav Shlomo figure. Somebody told me. The way he used to learn Musa. He cried when he learned Musa. I don't know. I'm not sure the way we're going to do that. But I try to laugh at the end of a long, big Musa Seder. I try to cheer myself up. I'm serious. You know that the Breslov Chassidim say. Rav Nosson, I think, Breslov said, the greatness of Rav Nachman Breslov was that madrega of chizuk. The greatness of the Baal Sheva Kodesh was that madrega of chizuk. The greatness of the Arizal was that madrega. The greatness of Rashbi was that madrega. How much are you mechazik yourself? That's what you are. Sit down every day and be mechazik and be mechazik and be mechazik. That should be a Musa Seder. I'm this and I'm that and I'm this and a couple of lies also. Don't worry about the lies. But no negatives. And that Aveir, not the kapslus. And that, no, not the kapslus. Of course you need an Rebbe, Most of us, we shouldn't worry. That's the way to go. Hold from being mechazik yourself. Look, all the good things you did that day. Write them all down. Bad things never happened. Sometimes you need to learn from mistakes. I made this mistake. No, everybody made mistakes. Yaakov Avinu made mistakes. I made mistakes. Nothing. Build yourself up, for heaven's sake. The more chizik you're going to give yourself, the more you're going to become. And don't be there. One of the ways to give chizuk, I would venture to say, is don't be afraid of the people around you. They're killing you all. Do pratim. They had complaints about me in Bar Park. I spoke in Bar Park last week, so I was expecting. They told me there's 20 people there waiting for you. I says, 20 people? I speak every day in Lakewood for 5 minutes between Mechamayr, and there's 30 people there. Now I'm going to go special trip to Bar Park to speak to 20. I'm not ready for it. Besides, the last time somebody invited me to speak for 20 people, 6 people showed up. So I figured, I have to go to Bar Park, get 6 people. Then I said, 1 second. 1 second. What's wrong with Zaynus? We're going. Green light, I'm going. I might get the Zaynus. So there were 250 people there. But I got schot for the Zaynus. But as I was speaking, by the way, the first thing I said in Bar Park was, I would like to say in the name of Gans Lakewood that we admire the Bar Park Jews. We love you guys. I didn't say that in English. You'll see them all. Fast to see them and watch. Read Yiddish. Bistagoy. Read Yiddish. They write. Rabarn held from Yiddish. Not stum. Lakewood is allowed to talk Yiddish. It's mutalach. Rabarn held from Yiddish big time. What are you talking? Anyway, who doesn't hold from Yiddish? Reb Nosson used to tell me, Marami Rutenberg was the one that started Yiddish. They're right. Yiddish. Best thing is Yiddish. Anyway, so they sent me a note in the middle. There's not enough Yiddish. So I say, I have enough from my anicle. When I was a little kid, my father used to tell me, he was an American boy, but he wanted his family Yiddish. So whenever I spoke to him in English, he said, I know what you're talking about. My father used to do that to me. So now I became what I became. And now I have anicle, like Hasidim. They live in Yerushalayim. Whenever, hello, Zayda, was master. Oh, hello, and how's everything? Was Zayda? Was? Me didn't do Yiddish. Oh yeah, I forgot. Anyway, I'm happy to have that type of problem. Baruch Hashem. Anyway, so I told them that I was in a Rebbe's room in Lakewood, and twice I heard the following: the Yin and Bar Park have gewaltige Shmiras Einayim. In the name of Gans Lakewood, I said this for Rab. The guy at Gans Lakewood, we are proud of you, Bar Park Jews. Keep up the good work. That's how I started. Why not? It's not true. The only thing I didn't tell them was the 2 times I heard that the Bar Park Yiddish, and the second time it was me. I heard myself. Well, this gefällt. Anyway, so we like Bar Park Jews. That's official. I just made an official. Everyone should know. Lakewood loves Bar Park. Anyone look on me around here? I honestly, whenever I go to Bar Park, I kvill. I love it. I love those Jews. They're gewaldig. They're almost as good as Lakewood. I'm joking. They're almost as good as Lakewood. They are sweet as sugar, those Bar Parkers. They really are. And they're very tzaddikim, all of them. I paskin. I was in Bar Park. I saw the matzav. I was one of the Meraglim from Lakewood. They're all tzaddikim. I paskin. I saw it all. And Lakewood for sure is there. Lakewood. There for sure also. I'm not going to stop, Everybody, you want to know about Lakewood now? Now in Lakewood, I could say something about Lakewood. I want to tell you what about Lakewood. Rav Forsheimer told me. He told me he sees machlokes in between when they get together. B'nai Torah! Oh! What a schus it is to be around these holy B'nai Torah. What a schus. He sees them getting together and fighting. They have a momentous problem. And they each have no money. Each, they're happy to have some bread on the table. Like aren't, they didn't choose a life of money. I mean, you realize that. They chose a life, lick the land, and they still send me money. The Bali B'tochen. They get together, and something happened, this car crashed, whatever. Now, who was who? They get together in front of Rav Forsheimer. And each one, they're all fighting. You know what the fight's all about? Heard the Rav Forsheimer himself? One tells the other one, I think you're right. The other one says, no, maybe you're right. This happened to me. Somebody rammed in the back of I was backing out of my car to the mikveh, and wham, off came my what's it called, the bumper, ice bumper. The guy jumps out of the car, and I thought it was my fault. So I said, it's okay. She said, no, it's my fault. You sure? Yeah, I didn't trust the guy. My mom just didn't trust the guy. So the guys are in, they said, don't worry, it was his fault. Okay. The Elam says it's his fault, they're going to fight. So Bekitza, he calls me up, and I see the guy's tight for money. He just got married, doesn't have a penny. Tailor man, which I do with him. So I tell you, don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. I go to the mechanic, and they say, oh, you want to have a new thing over there? Well, it's about $500. I said, but we'll patch it up with some glue, with some, masking tape. It's a little better than masking tape, but it's one of those jobs. For $100, it'll last. Fine. $100. The guy's all waiting. How much is it? It's stupid $100. Don't give me nothing. Just get lost. Goodbye. It's good enough. Then my wife found out what I did. That was the end. My wife is the only one in my family who has her feet on the ground. She never fell in with me. What are you going to do? Here he goes again with his bטחון. So how does my wife have to deal with him? My wife's going to get Elam Hava. She lived with me so many years. My wife is from the greatest. Anyway, I'm also pretty decent. I'm not. But anyway, so my wife, anyway, she said, what's going to be? And listen to this. So it bothered me. It wasn't right to my wife also. What's the stam? He said, I don't want to charge a kilo man. Leave him alone. $500. Kids will listen to this. The Abishter took care of it. My wife is parked, and some big, heavy truck, like nowadays, they make these bigger cars, the Halba trucks. You ever see these? They look like, I once wanted to try to get into the lane, that shoulder lane, and you don't fit, lose some weight. What's with you? You don't fit, I want to get through. Hey, I'm joking. They needed that, big families, whatever. So one of these things rams into my wife while he was parked, while my wife was parked. And boom, off came the fender. Guy came out. The guy was a regular yeshiva guy. He was a guy with money. He was a yid, a geschmack yid. He comes up. No, I did that. I'm paying the whole thing right now. He was loaded with money, this guy. He didn't know what to do with his money. So we got the money. It paid. Isn't that something? Same bumper. And now we got a $500 new bumper. Yeah, what's going on? Abishter gave, boom, the bumper will take care of it. Abishter pays you back. I know of a Kale guy here in Lakewood that they say, the mechanic told me, I don't know, he has a car. He has the worst jalopy in Gans Lakewood. He bought himself, every time he get into the car, is it still moving? Have to check it out. You get out and push every time. And with the snow, how does this guy exist? The mechanic told me this man is in his own world. He looks and learning Yom Balayla, and brisk cruiser cars, they last forever. He said this guy bought this car for $200. But he bought it off the car's not worth yet. It works with Scotch tape somewhere. I'm joking. But it's not a real thing. He's going for years. Don't ask me. I'm all you get Siyata Shmai. David that helps these holy Kale like Rabbi Yeshua Lieberman held a lot from the liquid Kale guys. These people have real bטחון. And they Zolhavim, Zolzaycha Zayin to the Gula Shlema. I give everybody a buha. Now I want to mention to the Olam. Does anybody come here usually on Thursday? If I put it off the next week, I have